This is the hextagonal exhibition, Cheese Corp Stealth Board exhibition game between 200-point Wonder Woman, Diana of the Mascara, with mystics from the HeroClix set with the Greek gods, versus the Mummy team. And the dwarf from Thanos' dwarf from Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm going to roll for Team Diana, Dicegone. I call you Team Dicegone. It's 8. And I've got 8. And Team Power Over the Sands, the glory of power over the sands, the strength of ages, and the glory of invincibility, humdie, call Obsidian Team. 4. Diana will be going first. Mummy will be granted the Majhonian color-coded peg. Black Dwarf will be assigned the blue color-coded peg. And Wonder Woman will be assigned the red color-coded character peg. Yeah, nothing Sims Prexa can't solve. And in any case, Team Power Over the Sands, the strength of ages, and the glory of invincibility, Mummy Humdie power. Mummy Humdie, Mummy Harkana, Bibi Aya, Wadami Yakra. And where shall they be? I'm gonna have pink character. Let's have them. This guy here. That's the Mummy. Undisputed, mystical, lightweight champion. All that desiccated flesh. You hardly knew your desiccated organic compounds, a lot of which had been blasted away with all that sand that you got the power from. That's why they give you power, because you've given them housing, you've given them shelter in the hollowed husk and carcass that once was a living being, now is a mummy. That's the dwarf. It would mean that dwarf and mummy both are in this zone. Now there could be another character on the map. Check the zones, and it turns out no one's in there. Now, this is going to start placing every character in each zone. It's created. Let's see how that works. Now we won't have to search the entire zone once we find all the characters on a team. Granted, they will all fit. Granted that they will all fit. If they all fit, if you could get 6 of them there, maybe. Gus, maybe. All I know is my gut says maybe. And they will also be in here. And they will both be in this zone also. Check that zone. No one in there. Put this guy in there. And put that guy in there. Don't deny the zones. It's good. You will be decision. It's the haberdasher and haberdash beneath the trunk. The sounds help my echolocation. Echolocation. He is in this zone. Only the blue guy now. You're dancing with the crabs, man, not Black Dwarf now. Join me, boy, or you're fired. Yeah. This is placement. It's not the beginning of the turn yet. I won't check all of them quite right now. Now that all the characters have been placed, let the first turn begin. He's got an object also. Black Dwarf and some Mummy. Majhonian. Mahjong. It's a Mahjong. Mummy can, at the beginning of the turn, be given a free action to shamble along. He's got that destroyer power, unstoppable engine of destruction. Shambling can move one at the beginning of the turn for free. Let's have him do that now. Impatient. Now we're checking the zones. Only it's just the blue black dwarf and the Modgonian mummy there. Check this one. Might have just moved adjacent to someone. Oh, this knows only the black dwarf, the blue black dwarf. Down here, yeah, only mummy and face. This is the. The mummy and the blue-black dwarf. So it's a deaf dwarf. It's a kind of excellent color, obsidian, stressed, special crafting materials for engineers of the gods. The shambling has not changed the zones. They can also see squares that aren't in zones, such as this one and that one. The mummy can see on a diagonal, which includes this one. Check them. No. One of these turns, they'll find each other at the beginning of the game. You see these two? I think these two would block this one from up there, but maybe this one. Let's check that square. Certain distance. This would say that there's a specific distance from the character and squares, parts of the perimeters of quadrilateral geometrical structures for translucent canopy lids, Greek fireflame containers, that themselves are of a specific distance from the parts of the perimeters of other quadrilateral geometrical structures of translucent canopy lid, Greek fireflame. Black dwarf has a movement of 10. It's there. So I could move him 10 down that aisle. If mummy go this way, he'll find somebody. On the way there, what do we see? I can check this one now. See after it's here and then here, we'll be able to see this. I'll also be able to see these two. See that. I'll be able to see this. Check that. Nobody there. These two. Then I'm going to go here. You can start seeing these. And we're going to see this zone when we take another step. Go here, and now we see this zone, which is these three of this column transposed across these rows to here. See these go here. You can see these now. And here from here starts with this. Oh, here and this. From here you can see these two. Check that. Here. And then here you can see these. also able to see this one. And from there, no. From here, no. This is blocked. Here, anything new there? Here, you can start seeing these. This might decide that if you are of the square where the parts of the perimeter for the quadrilateral geometrical configuration of the translucent Greek fireflade canopy lid container frame is close to the parts of the perimeters of other quadrilateral geometrically structured translucent Greek fireflade canopy lid container frames that continue of that linear area occupancy precedent to the parts of the perimeter of that particular archetypal parts of the perimeter for the quadrilateral geometrical structure of the translucent Greek fireflade polymer canopy lid container frame of blocking terrain. Let's see. This is not blocking there. You can see this. Blocking terrain, but not these. And maybe the one that is closer to that edge. This one. Blocking terrain, closer to that edge, and then the squares that we're prospecting being able to see are closer to the lower part, this edge of the board, and are closer to the part of the perimeter of the quadrilateral geometrical translucent Greek fireflade polymer canopy lid container frame that indicate they are of the descended order of the linear column or adjacent column, adjacent to squares of the column representing quadrilateral geometrical Greek fireflade, quadrilateral geometrical structure for the translucent Greek fireflade canopy lid container frame. But here, we checked this zone already. We grabbed an object from up there. When we were here, we could see these. Let's check those. No, nobody's in there. The move is now complete, yet the journey not over. Holy moly. Here. There. Now he's no longer in this zone. That is Team Humdie, power over the sands, the strength of ages, and the glory of invincibility. Mummy Humdie power. Mummy shambling along. Could have taken that large object. I'm going to let Dwarf take it. Here, picking that up, just carrying it. Did not find anyone. That is their turn. The beginning of the turn. Let's check those zones. We've got Majhonian and Blue for the blue-black dwarf and the mummy. We see this one. Mummy is Here, Mommy cannot see this. We will not check that. We check this, which includes all of it. Mommy can see this square of that zone, but not that entire zone. Let's check that square. Nobody's there. But if this had used the word quadrilateral, it would not have had rhymed. Serendipity, serendipitous discovery, electrocomponents and phonological etymology. Aha! Erroneous and hyperbolic use of words. Diaphanous. Silence! And we're going to... He can see this square. The blue-black dwarf can see those two squares. Check them. Nobody's in them. You can also see these squares. See these three. See this square. Nobody's in there. Close those. Close them. Just make yourself decent. You can also see these. Nobody's in there. This zone. Check this one. Still just Majhonian Mummy Humdie power and the Mumdummy Hummy Mumdum power. It's a silly Goron. Silly Goron. Nosferatu. We're going to take, at the beginning of the turn, let's have Mommy Shamble one over here. This direction. I'm going to try and have them both meet on the other side of the corridor, or the corridors. Meet over here, check these rooms, and then check that way, sweep that way, try to find this goddess. Are you the furtive variety of goddess? We shall find out. It's shambling. We're not going to use another move action. Let's have Dwarf. We're going to have him move his 10, starting here. And he can see now this whole place. These three. We check these three in a frame of reference incipient, which is this frame of reference, and separated from it by not an opposing turn, presumably the same status of character occupancy for those slots. Nobody there. We'll check these two. Ooh. Yeah. Someone, can I have a falsetto? Check those. I'm going to go here to minimize the number of actions it requires to turn a corner. And now we can see this zone. Let's check that zone. That's Wonder Woman. We found Wonder Woman is in this zone. So let's put you here. To make ceremonious and extant, is that extant to change from the obscure laureates of the mind to the not overt variety. Come up with a expand vocabulary for ancillary to describing the non-volatile reality entertainment information paralleling variety of information that represents the locations of objects representing volatile reality entertainment information derived characters. We have to check this whole zone. Let's check this one also. It might narrow down a few. It would, if she was in this zone also, it would get rid of these three. We wouldn't check those. And you are. You're in this zone also. So we'll start checking from here. You're not in that square. We just check that square as we check the zone. And I'm going to do that. You can see the zone. You can see the square. Check these. So you could be anyone. So we know that if you're in here and you're in this zone, then you're not in that row of this zone. You're going to be here. And if we know that you're in this zone, then you're not in these 6 squares of this zone. So you're in from these 2 squares to transposed across from that column to these 2 squares. I'm just going to check those 2. Inverted from ineffective adhesion of translucent Greek fire blade, quadrilateral canopy lid, container frames. Things rise up, hasn't done, I'll soon be done. I've gotta run, I'll find your face, then special pushing, speculating, the stool flipping, donkey flipping, stool mongers. I'll find a flipping, fibbing, ancillary espionage agent. Then I'll teach you how to do the cookie kenda. That's a martial arts technique where you stop someone's blood flow by alternating the ether crescent deflection pattern of the blood flowing up the non-Newtonian fluids in the blood. How did you know that was there? I did extensive research. I'm quite assiduous that way. I bet you couldn't find me in a library. I move so fast. I am not really in libraries. I'm more the internet. You cannot find how so be done. How in your head, under your skin, with psychological epithets that are so good night, or so poignantly derisive. Oh, hey, we found you. Oh, I wonder if we'd ever find you. Anyone here? So now that we know, in this game, since there are only 3 characters, this has changed. For this game, we're going to only the characters that are in the zones will be the characters you put for each peg you have on your team, you place in the zones. We only found the red one. We don't need to check these 4, though that may not have been so difficult in this particular case, but it may pay off later. Close all of these. Close them. Checked them. We invigilated. We inspected them each and found nobody in them. Were they a waste of time? Were they ancillary to the primary objective? They might have been, but we're through with that particular phase of the plan. It's time to move on and get Mac off of Altoids. That's right. Behold. Two were here, and now we're here. We have 8 more. This is a standoff. Opposite ends of lateral corridors without blocking terrain, obstructing movements along part of the parallel. Objects representing by the parts of its perimeter, quadrilateral, geometrical, translucent Greek firefly, polymer, canopy lid, container frame. Obstructions that are not complete, however, they represent in their subtext of light clatter emitting substratum. I'm going to just, if this hides, Diana might run away. So maybe just try to base you. That might be a preferable strategy. This cannot reach you from here. You try to avoid being charged on. But if it does, you might go up here. Maybe it's better to get your attention this time. Have the mummy sneak up on you. This will move 8. It's around here. So if you move here, just in case you try to go up some, because going this way will not... There are not the squares that are closer to this edge of the board that character can occupy, that are beyond that character's range, incipient to the move that this infers will be made without the power of that character to make a move that will extend them. That will occur without this character making that move. Extend this person beyond the reach of the character in this position without the character making the move to this position. In the process of doing that, we will be able to see this zone. Let's check it. Nobody's in it. Anything else we can see or not? So we could check up here. This would be an obstruction. Let's say you can see from the parts of the perimeter of the quadrilateral geometrical structure, translucent Greek firefly polymer, the particular parts of the perimeter for the quadrilateral geometrical structure of Greek firefly polymer. Greek firefly bifocal curious polymer. We're not going to check that zone because we can't see it, all of it, but we can see that square. And of the diagonal variety, and all of those that are closer to this edge of the board and those squares in the particular parts of the perimeter of the quadrilateral geometrical structure for that translucent Greek firefly canopy lid container casing frame. You will pay for this. I gotcha, son. And let's see what we got here. I'm putting you here. We check that. We could also check this diagonal. And right there. Hey, that's right. Let's have the mummy now that we know where Dan is. We should try to get down here and do something. Get off of his mummy tuchus. Do something. He can move 5. He's not a very fast mummy. So, the way there, we're going to be able to see. We check that one. We checked that one already in the frame of reference incident, which is this, and not separated by an opposing turn. That would therefore have the same occupancy status. And we checked this frame, this square, when we were checking his line of sight. We won't check that again, but we will, once we go here, we will be able to see this zone. Check that zone. The dead zone. The Machio star. It beckons to me. Extolling to the grace of assimilation. You simulation. You simulate. Whoa! Unacceptable. Here, you can see this zone. No one there. I'm trying to get an object that's in this square. I'd like to get that object. We're no longer in here. Well, on the way, we'd be able to see these. We can check those. Around here, we can see these 3, but now from here, we'll be able to see this whole Kit Kat Shenagle Shaboodle. Caboodle, caboodle, caboodle. Right, that's Noodle Caboodle. Which part of the Family Guy series has that tune? Shaboopy, 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 the one who's hard to fetter. Shaboopy, shaboopy, the one who's hard to elicit archetypal coquettish information or experiences that will elicit reproductive activity from that one. Somebody stop me. I don't know what I'm talking about. I might say something I regret. No, this was joking. I'm perfectly capable of stopping myself from saying stupid things. Yeah, not bloody likely. No. Now they're going to establish forms of government to protect it from itself. It will be a never-ending ignominious experience that will render this person forever a dominated, ignominious frump. Behold, Spramnam. That we can also see these squares. That was not part of this zone that we checked for this guy, which would be from here. This is blocking terrain. You'd say if you were here from the atrium. Here, across this column, transposed across this row would be the, nope, stopping here, not there, and down here. And that is the border for the area, consisting of numerous other squares and their various respective parts of perimeters of quadrilateral, geometrical, translucent Greek fireplate canopy lids, container frames. And we're checking those. Checking. We checked all of these when we were doing his line of sight, but we do not check these. No, this one. Or that one. Check. These squares are part of this zone, which we checked. Nobody's in there. Nobody's in there. Do this one? Did not do that one. That's not. That would be part of this zone, this square. So I would start here, closer to that edge of the game board, and of the particular position that is close to the parts of the perimeter for the quadrilateral geometrical structure of the translucent Greek 5-lid canopy lid container frames. We checked this zone, and we checked that zone. We checked all of these squares, and it's unnecessary now to check this one, which is from this square. Oh, we did not check these three. Just check these three instead of checking that one. I can check one square or three. Which one? Let's check the three. Let me check the three this time. Nobody's in there. You could check one square or just 94! Oh, you look so suave. I check these already. This might have checked it for that other character's line of saying, checking in on the mummy. For the mummy. That is all for their turn. Shambled along here. And we went around this corner to... And when we came around to find they were not the Black Dwarf, they thought they were at home. No, no, no. They were a rocket god. I mean, under the employ of Thanos, burning out its fuel here, alone. Are you in that square? Yes, you were here. There? Yes. Then he finished its movement by moving an additional 8. Was it here or here? No, it was here, trying to get your attention, if this recalls. Best way to get the attention of a demigoddess is to stand directly in front of it. Them, her, which have been her. Then the mummy pulled some latter-day jig. Doing a little Irish jig. Over there. And their action tokens. One for them. I think this would be his second action. He should have 2 action tokens. He has Indomitable. 105-point character. 5 points from 100 points, and he has 18 defense, invincible, 3 damage, suspected it was 4, 3 damage, respectable, 11 attack with super strength and quake, and a quilling, twiddling, twiddly, liquid lithium dioxide, silicon, and binary compound salts, liquid lithium, smoldering, mesa crater, unfatma. What is it now? Do the 11. A quake that can deal 3 damage to 2 of the characters, to 2 of the adjacent characters. And how often are you surrounded by 8 characters? 2 of the characters, 3 damage, and then he has charge and flurry. That's 105 points. Oh no, now you're fully pushed. This did not anticipate this. Oh, what's going to happen? Charge and exploit weakness. The exploit weakness is the light rainbow. Whichever! Attack 1 got 5. You have 12 attack. Right, goddess. 5 and 12. That might actually hit you. That's 17. You have 18 defense. Oh, so narrowly avoided that one. For 5. Right. Second attack. We have a second flurry. We get 2 attacks now. A free attack. That one's higher. This one is 9. 5 and 4. That hits a 21. That's a god punch right there. I hope you're ready to get gobsmacked. That definitely hits your 18 invincible. How much damage do you deal, Diana? 4 damage. 1 more damage than you, dwarf. You have invincible, which means you negate half of the damage. You take 2. You ignore it. Oh, very important, the implication of the effects that are attributed to the specific words used to describe powers on the hero upon the cards that are used in the system of recreation known as the HeroClix game. Incipient to the extant aftermath of a brutal attack. Brutal, man. Brutal. Over here. Check this zone. Both Wonder Woman and the blue-black dwarf. Check Blade and Blue Lagoon. You can see we're in this zone. Only dwarf. So not in these three of this column transposed to these three squares. Not in that. You're in this one. So that's these 9 squares of this row transposed up to here. 9 squares in diameter, yeah, yeah, yeah. Woo-hoo, yeah. You're somewhere in here. How far could you attacked me? I don't think you have hypersonic. Maybe you could have charged up here. You have flight. That allows you to move, to not be bound by characters, to not be based by characters when taking a move action, which charge is. We check this one. We are in that zone. Check it. Only the dwarf there. I think we can also see these squares. Let's check those. Nobody in there. Make it sure. Let's check the mummy zones. It's a bit easier than checking. Let's check. Here's Madhonian mummy. Madhonian power over the sands, the strength of ages, and the glory of invincibility. Humdie mummy power. Mummy blanket pick for the Strat Holsen von Stroken. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, no. Only money in there. Let me check these. Unstrossen, fine. To retain the ATP cell sacrifice and drawn from the Madhonian from the polysaccharide deoxyribose nucleic acids, dual helix recombinant ribonucleic acids unzipped by radioactive guanine peptides, codons, random amino acid chain. Codons, random nucleotide morsel morphisms, amino acid chain, tondes, edmond, tondes, macromolecular, mathematical, multicellular, organic, origami, architecture, derived substance of the flesh. If he could speak, I see in the English. And then how would he design the mirrors for your thorium-powered, salt-cooled nuclear plasma sun god phasma gamma cluster reactors? I did not think of that. Trying to do Dexter, did Hans Meckhawk. There you go. That's close. At the beginning of the turn, do we see anything else? We can see on a diagonal here. Check this one. You can see on a diagonal here. And check these two already. You would also be able to see if the blocking terrain is the position where the particular parts of the perimeter for the quadrilateral geometrical structure of the translucent Greek fire flayed polymer canopy lid container is of this sort of the lateral precedent, similarly distanced from this edge of the board and the other squares of the similar linear area occupancy precedent, then you can see on a diagonal and closer to that edge in those squares of the linear area occupancy precedent. This knows its diatribe. Alright. What was that? Shut the beep up. Alright. We're gonna... Let's see here, but this is blocking terrain. So when that happens, I think you stop perceiving the squares that are closer to this region of the edge of the... just diagonal, just the diagonal area occupancy linear precedent. Check that one. This is not a square. That's a zone. We're not checking that because we can't see that zone. Close your infernal translucent Greek firefly canopy-lid quadrilateral bollock and cockable. Incontinent. Competent, impotent, ambivalent, diaphanous, insouciant, infernal, blithering moron. Brains filled with boron, and you married him. Yes. And we checked these. That's part of this. See a bit here. This is has the effect of blocking terrain, elevated terrain. We can just those two squares and diagonal from the square that is of the parts of the perimeter of the quadrilateral geometrical quadrilateral geometrical translucent Greek fireblade polymer canopy lid container frame, and is such as is further away of the position, such as this particular translucent Greek fireblade geometrical structure, quadrilateral Greek fireblade translucent canopy lid container frame, diagonal, and the one that is further closer to these squares, and the one of the sort that are closer to that edge of the board, and closer to those particular parts of the perimeter for the quadrilateral geometrically structured Greek fireblade canopy lid container frame. No one's in there. Now we're going to do the beginning of the term shambling. Now you're there. Now we can see this zone. Checked a lot of those squares, just to check a lot of them regardless. No one's in there, but now that Mummy's in there, we might not stop. We're going to stop there. Because I really took an action to get down here this quickly. Don't want to. This turn we're going to clear. Taking it easy now. I'm an old Mummy. And speaking of needing to clear, this guy needs to clear. I can't retaliate. I'm completely petrified. There's nothing this could do. Let's at least find Diana. That would be a neat thing to have found. Your sanctities and self-respect's killers. Killer. The self-respect is the thing that has the Saxon, vaguely Nordic S plural, but not S possessives, but not the plural. It's not the plural. It's also used for plural, that sound, but one of them has the apostrophe in a different place. Apostasy. It's an abomination. You're in this, but not here or here. That means you're in here somewhere. I'm also in this zone. Let's check that one to narrow down the search. We are both in here. So there you go. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. So that means you're in one of these three squares of that row transposed down to this zone, and you're in this zone, which means you're probably not down here or up here. You're somewhere. That narrows down that search a good deal. You're somewhere just in this place. Let's start checking that. Neato. I'm seeing multiple zones at once. That surely helps. Not this one, or you can see this one. There you are. Since we only found Diana and that character in those zones, we do not need to look any further. No further questions! Oh, you're only 2 away. You might have sidestepped after, as if you would be adjacent to this person. After attacking this person, taking a move action. Oh, you're outnumbered. You should have been getting outnumbered tokens. Take care of that during Wonder Woman's next turn. Neglected that. And there's not much this could do. That's the end of this turn. We found you. We did. We looked. We saw. We observed. Is that all we are? A witness? Until further notice? Yeah, but it's kind of a chaotic thing if you catch my meaning. So at the beginning of the turn, we looked around a bit, and we knew you were nearby. Shambled down all there. And then we found a goal. Beep! Oh, you have to put them closer. Clean up, clear up, everybody clear up. Domesticate and extricate all this. Unleash the beast! We're going to charge flurry. First attack. Messing up my Palladion temple steeple sacrifice altars here. That's 11. Good night. And you have 12, so that's 23. Hits 23. A god that hits the king of the gods. It's mater d matriarch of the gods. And you have, well, this time you have impervious. You have a chance to not take any damage this time, whereas before you negated a good part of 5 damage, only took 2. He got it. That's impervious. So you did not take any damage. Second attack. I have another chance. You think I would come this far with only 1 chance to strike? Not here. Between squares. 7. Not as high as 11. But it does rhyme with 11. Maybe, perhaps that means something. I'm pulling Sparamnamen out from the hidden dimensions of the mortal world. 7 plus 12 was 19. That definitely hits your 17. It's 2 over. It's 1 shy of if this were King Odin or King Thor, you'd be able to make another free attack. Now we're going to do impervious again. 1. This suspects that is the lowest upon the numerical range that you can get and fail, and 6 was the highest, and the highest you could get on the numeric die in general, and was the highest you could get to succeed. And you deal once and 4 damage without 2, so once again you're taking 2 damage. Isn't that lovely? Still has impervious on his 5th click. He's taken 4 clicks of damage. The click the click that this character is presented with near the incipient in which is the beginning of the game. Incipient in the frame of reference where you are not playing the game and not long from playing the game, be at the beginning of the game without taking damage. It's labeled nomen 1. Nomen numero lectura. Miscegenation 1. It is now time for Team Power Over the Sands, the strength of ages and the glory of invincibility. Mummy Humdie party, picnic blanket, retaining the incandescent electromagnetic radiation, approaching diagramless electrochemical bonds, snap power of the infrared, ATP flesh sacrifice, attenosine, attenuating adenosine triphosphate molecule variety from the food sprechens of the metabolized blood sprecchioratio thanken. We're gonna look through some zones. What can I see? You know what I see? A bagel with cream cheese. We're in this zone. Well, you're still in there, which, considering the attack that this would have heard about, this might have heard about that attack on the Earth. We are in this zone. And Wonder Woman is not in there. Wonder Woman is everywhere. It's probably somewhere over here, maybe adjacent. We should not have looked in there. Check that one. In this zone. Not in there. Just guessing you're up here. But check this one, so you're somewhere up here. We are in these 3, transposed from that row up to these columns. Let's check this one. Ooh, you're still up here. So you're here, you're up here, you're below this. These 3 transposed to the limits of this zone that ends on this row. Now just check next to you. Yep, and you're in the first row as well. Without any reservation or additional declination. We only need to find that guy, as we know there are no other characters from the pegs. Only 1 character for this particular game. And Mummy, now that we found you at the beginning of the game, Mummy will shamble again. Pick up that object. I'll be able to take a move action, take it, and run this time. The dwarf now has an action. Don't need to charge. It could. This could try to roll breakaway to charge, however, though the fact that despite that this is adjacent to the target of the charge, if this rolls breakaway for the move action part of the charge and fails, it would have failed the charge and can't then charge. Or is that how it works? Because it says this infers the standard definition of charge that might be found on the HC realms or whichever respective hypertext markup language human digital network output information you may derive. Handy dandy rule notebook stipulations, regulations, and definitions for the HeroClix game might define charge as being able to take a move action, then take a free close attack or close combat attack. This suspects in days of late might be referred to as close attack from the Juggernauts cards. From the Juggernauts. Therefore, even if it fails the move action, it still should be able to take a close attack. This won't bother to do that. This says that you can do that if you would like to. You fail the move action, you can still take the close combat attack if the person is next to you at the beginning of the turn. Not certain why you do that, but positioning. Positioning is important. We're going to not do that. We're going to make an attack on the Wonder Woman. What can you see? You can see you're in this zone. Only mummy there. You can see these. I know. I should check this zone. Only mummy in there. Now we don't need to check these three transposed across these columns to here. Close these. Just check. Those three. This one. No. These three. And that one. That's all the mummy can see. You can see here. These three. This one blocks from that one further, closer to that edge and further from the character. Or the quadrilateral geometrical translucent Greek firefly canopy lid container frame casing. That guy from Trolls is like the user Geserkshek of cinematic hunters. No one needs to know that. If you ever thought about beginning of the turn, we found Wonder Woman. I am Superwoman. Ah, you're an ugly broad. Isn't that right? A goddamn ugly broad. Wait, what are you doing? Stop it! Ah! I'm trying. No, you were. Now we're making, because you have to be adjacent. How would you be adjacent? No. You made a sidestep away from this person. Now this is making the charge against you. Oh no, you were stuck. You were there. You were stuck. You made a charge, and then were based with this person and could not sidestep away. Now, this is have flurry. It lost flurry. It does have charge. It has Blades Claws. Use this giant Palladion-looking elven technology axe over here, or dwarven technology. There you go. He has Guardian Craftsman. Slaves. Thank you, slaves. 6 and 4 is 9. That's not true. 6 and 4 is 10. It's not consistent with one particular modality of thought. There's no such thing as truth. Truth is the idea is that there's one consistent modality, independent or specific subtext of reality or perception that rules them all. It's bollocks! It's bollocks! You can take your truth straight to the thinner phenolphthalein on storm drain. And as a matter of fact, so that's 10. I probably hit something with 9 attack. Oh dear, it's low for attack. Even for a 105-point character that once had 11 attack, 17 defense, 18 defense with invincible, and 10 movement with charge and flurry. Oh, the mighty have fallen. That hits 19, and that hits Wonder Woman. Now we will roll for that Blades Claws. 1. That wouldn't hurt you even if you weren't impervious. Let's check that impervious anyhow. She would have gotten it, or at least she got it. If the it is conceivable that in the parallel universe where the die roll, or in the case that the die roll in any case would be a successful Blades Claws roll, that Wonder Woman that might have altered either this person's perception and therefore the ancillary psychological faculties this uses to throw the die, or some other characteristic causality deterministic style stopped and resulted in a different die roll. It's possible, it's conceivable, but what are you looking at me for? Don't look at me, look at them. No, stop at me, you're gazing back! Got a failed hand in the dice game going clackety, 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 clack. Mummy, let's have Mummy do something. We can move 5, we did the shambling. We can probably base Diana, but we probably shouldn't do that. Let's go just right behind or one away from Diana. Go here, yeah, let's go there. One away from Diana. Then we can shamble next to you. That way you're gonna have to break away from Black Dwarf over there in order to attack Mummy, which you have yet to successfully do, despite being a demigod. Ooh. You're like a TI computer. I've got a POS scale. Ooh. So we're going to move here. We're going to be able to see this zone now. Check it. Check it video. Yeah, we got that's Diana in there, which we can see from over here. Now we've got Mummy. And we're leaving this zone. Pack my bags, I'm going far away. You see me as I leave. Oh, now we're going to put a third character in there. Holy moly. 3 characters in one zone. How do you do it? Place that. We're not in this zone anymore. I don't think we're in Kansas anymore. Why don't you come by and see me sometime? Oh, what a tart. Oh dear. Oh. How ludicrously crass. Finger rolls, but I'm cause that the wazoo. Also be in this zone. How many zones? This zone, this zone, this zone. I think that's 3. Maybe another one. 3. There's a lot of Mahjonian magic moving around. That's alarming. No Mahjon. No! 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 That's all. What can Mummy see from there that's not in a zone? You're here. See on a diagonal. We already checked this zone, so start needing to check from here. We can also see the squares that are closer to that edge and the squares that are closer to that edge and to this edge and close to the specific parts of the perimeter of the geometrical quadrilateral structure of the translucent Greek firefly polymer canopy lid frames that are close to the specific parts of the perimeter of the quadrilateral translucent Greek firefly canopy lid container frames that are not further away from the specific parts of the specific parts of the canopy lids, specific parts of the perimeter for the quadrilateral structure of the Greek firefly translucent canopy lid container frames. You framed me. Big damn right I did. Then those of blocking terrain. Where the specific parts of the perimeter of the translucent Greek firefly quadrilateral polycarbon frame, polymer frame, ponderosa. Alright. Probably could see this one. There. We're done here. That's it. That's all. Nothing else to see here, folks, ladies and gentlemen. You don't have to be here. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Niema mushkat. Niema pametan liapa. Niema pametan. Niema pametna liapa mushkat. Pametan liapa mushkat. Niema pametan liapa Watch me extrude languages and be errantly hyperbolic like Robert Loggia. Call me Robert Loggia. Yeah, watch me be errant. Watch me be errantly loquacious like every word with Robert Loggia. Every word with Robert Loggia. That could be a program. Gee, what happened to Bonanza? I was watching reruns of All My Children the other day. Saw this guy. I thought he's definitely from somewhere. Like, oh, that was the guy from Bonanza. He had jet black hair then, but time makes fools of us all. Except for this person, sort of. It will. It definitely will. It has in different ways. I'm gonna die. That's the point of what I'm trying to say. Okay. We're gonna die horribly, painfully. Why? Why? And we picked up that object and we moved. The motion, sir. This is the wrong color. The black action token for the black dwarf. It's not racist. You want the red tokens anyhow, because they make colored copies. 5. Here, somewhere around there. Picked up this object. Got an action token. There. I hope you're happy now. There's one away, so somehow he got there. Let's put him there. That's where he is. Took a look around, and that is the end of Team Power Over the Sands, the Strength of Ages, and the Glory of Invincibility, humdie, mummy, pinkinick, blanket, power team. So you're pushed, and you're still going to do something? Yeah. Right, so I'm going to take these outnumbered tokens, 2 of them, and I get a free close combat attack. I'm using them for that. This could use range, however, as far as this can see, Diana has no range. Why does it specify that this character can do something that this character cannot do from another characteristic? You see, it is as a result of that in HeroClix you could pick up something like Sakrin's Hammer or some relic, Sakrin's, or more likely, there's another character from Fear itself that gives you range. In any case, I'm going to close attack you. Oh, go on, close attack your bad self. Oh, we got a 5 and a 3. That's 8. Plus 12, that's 20. That hits 20. I got Impervious. You still have it with 15 defense. Good night. That was 5 over. King Thor, eat your heart out. Impervious. Come on, Impervious! Black Dwarf gets Impervious. That could have been a lot more devastating, though it was still quite disconcerting, to say the least. Facetiously, of course. Let's see what we have here. But, assuming you're not here anymore, let's check the zones. You still got all 3 of them in there. You haven't left this zone. These 3 squares of that row transposed over here. Black Dwarf can see this zone. Still all 3 in there. I'm guessing Mummy can see this zone. In there. 2 mummies, 2 characters, 1 mummy, 1 goddess. Everything's fine. I check these 3 from these 3 squares and this row down. Now you're here, up here next to the mummy. I'm the wrong guy to play Red Rover with. So we found you. Mummy can push, and he probably should. And Black Dwarf can use willpower. So they should do that. They should absolutely do that. Black Dwarf is going to make first a charge action. Funny if he kills himself with a critical miss. And we found Wonder Woman. I am Wonder Woman. Enough of this. I'm gonna have this guy. He's gonna charge. Teach you to attack a Black Dwarf and a mummy. A Blade's Claws charge. I do 9 on your 18. We need a 9. That's an 8. I think we missed by 1. No. If I succeeded, I would have thrown your blue-haired buttocks into a garbage can that I took a bit in. But you failed. Oh, yes, I did. It might be atrocities. That hits a 17. There's a 1 short. We got 1 more. We got 9. It would have hit 18. That fails. And now let's hope the mummy does better. With super strength, we're pushing 10 on an 18. We need an 8. If we can get an 8 this time, this will succeed. We got 8. That hits an 8 with different numbers, and so this was concerned to get this. This is incipient, not long from incipient in the frame of reference in which it is, and not long from the frame of reference in which it is suggesting it requires a roll that is like or rather generates the implication being that it generates the similar result to the black dwarf that occurs in a turn incipient in which and not long from which is this attack for the mummy. However, not focusing on the part of the ancillary, or the facet of the implication that refers to specifically the result, being focused on the result of the roll, not necessarily the roll itself, for there are more than one ways to get that roll. And that's the problem with life. Myopia. Ovine myopia! Damn you, myopia! Quiet! Shut up, my brain! So we successfully hit Diana, and if we can that will be 6 damage with a heavy object. He has 4 damage. The mummy. Mummy. Diana's impervious. She gets it. Well, no damage here. Alright, he pushes. The mummy pushes. He got probability control. This might actually be helpful. But he does take damage for that. The first pushing damage he's taken. Everyone's pushed except for... Oh dear. So he charged for 2 and became based with the Superwoman. Once again, does that change the zones? It means we are no longer in here. Take that out. No longer in here. Out. We're still in here. Still in there. That's the end of that turn. I'm going to attack you. Close combat attack, flurry, attack 1. That misses. Nobody wants to probability that. Yeah, of course not. And attack 2. We're going to do this against the mummy also, because I don't want to take that collapsidian damage right now. On the top of the click, top of the game. And we got 8. Doubles, that hits 20. That hits your 17. And you take, how many? You have 4 damage, you take 2. There's a special speed power. I think that's the... God's team, power over the sands, the strength of ages, the strength of ages, the glory and power over the sands, the strength of ages, and the glory of invincibility. The humdie mummy blanket, picnic blanket is severance or an act of contrition. As restitution for severing someone's eyelashes, sewing someone's mouth shut, and having them mummified alive. That's from Courage the Cowardly Dog, though they might have done that in the mummy also. They cut after the tongue. This doesn't know what else they did. They're ancient Egyptians. I mean, they say Greeks is freaks, but that might be just of an American predilection to use monikers or colloquial expressions that rhyme, and not necessarily that coincidentally the Greeks are freaks, and which, if this understands ancient culture correctly, they often exchanged culture with the ancient Egyptian civilizations. Power respects power. Remember that. You could take that to the bank. Ooh! Let's see if Diana's still in. Oh, you left! Oh, the snap! Dear, what are you doing? Crosby Osborne. Let's check the zones. It still says you're in here with us. I guess. Let's look in here. There's still all 3 of them in there also. Didn't go far. Check the mummy zone here. Both of us Both Mommy and Diana. You should also be in here. You charged into battle. Now you're playing with the big boys now. That's not the correct note. Nep, Sartushka, Shkartushka, Cat. You're playing with the big boys. You're playing with the big boys. You're playing with the big boys now. Now you're playing with the big boys now. Playing with the big boys now. If you're in here and in here, I can see both dwarf, Mommy diagonal, exit outside the zones they can see. So this zone, start here. This is where that zone. This is where that zone ends. No zones. Go to here. To that zone. We want to see in here, and they want to kick my ass. I wonder who that person was talking about. Probably a mummy and a black dwarf, or if anyone's going to come in and whoop your ass. They might have already given you brain damage. So you die. Increase the number of squares that are opened. Number of squares from the specific parts of the perimeter of squares of the geometrical, quadrilateral, geometrical, translucent Greek biofilm container frames from the squares that are not seen of the area, linear, precedent, Prussian precedent of progression. So here, this we call here, and this one. Let's see. Let's see that one. This one. Chipotle. Let's see, because this zone does not include these squares. But these squares are included in that zone. Let's open these. Check those. It's easy to ignore. That are further away, that are closer than blocking to around the edge of the map to the characters of the translucent Greek fireblade container, the canopy lid container frame casing. Represent of the quadrilateral geometrical variety representing the or containing the slots, the translucent Greek fireblade slots containing the characters. That's a zone peg, which we're not going to check because we cannot see this zone. That zone is from this square along this row to here. See all that we can see. That Walter sauntered long before the days of humanity's days gone past, that the state powers infected humanity. So, where's the Hulk? Now we're going to check this down of these three. Let's check. Probably try to sidestep away after all that. Here. Well, there's only one more. Alright. No, if you were up here. Oh, you're in here. If you're in here, then you're above this. And if you're in here, then you're below here. And if you're in here, then you've got to be these three squares up to here. That's figures. You have to be in the one where this checks all the other squares. In the frame of reference incipient to the frame of reference where this is checked all the other squares, it checks that one square, and that's where you are. So, does anyone have any actions? Anyone? No? No one has any. We have probability control. Oh, at the beginning of the turn, we can shamble. Let's shamble. I can go here. Then Wonder Woman will do something, and I can shamble again. That's a free action. Doesn't change any zones. Consecutive. Can't quite see Wonder Woman. But next turn, when we can actually do something, maybe it will see Wonder Woman. Assuming Wonder Woman doesn't do something like kill us all. Alright. And Wonder Woman has got a outnumbered token last turn for doing that flurry attack. And it being the end of its turn, Wonder Woman's the demi-goddess's turn. And there being more characters on the opposing team. However, it may not stay that way much longer. Looking around like oh dear. No. You shambled. You're cleared. You threw your action tokens away. You threw your curved Arabian daggers away. Or Persian. Is it a Persian? The Persian cutlass over there. Let's try to attack him. Take the opportunity. Or this could try to charge now. But if this misses, this is going to, as this had declaimed before, it can fail the move action part, but then still make the close combat attack part of it, assuming it isn't that way in HeroClix, that isn't altered by this person, this particular form. Rolling breakaway for the charge. Got it. So we're going to charge now. Charge flurry. Used up the sidestep already. Charging and flurry and first attack on Mr. 16 defense there. You can't hit this person. This will be stunned in disbelief, very much unlike the 6. It hits 18. And it definitely hits 16. This could have 10 and hit you, as a matter of fact, and this has 12. Only 2 more in a general Electra scale, and from the usages in general of numbers to represent things, it may not be such a big difference, though in the specific case of HeroClix, compared to the applications of numbers which are vast in general, perhaps it doesn't seem... One might be inclined to assume that 2 more than something isn't necessarily that much. However, in HeroClix, it is. So that's 2 damage to you. Oh my goodness. I thought that would have killed him. It didn't. He has 18 defense and willpower now. And he has super strength and charge again. This guy's getting more powerful. And now he has probability control with the 18 defense, though. It's not impervious, which may help. Should we kill him now? Because then there's this guy. He has charge. Now this guy is starting to turn this person. And he can shamble along, which means he can be placed into adjacent square. He doesn't have to remain based with this person. He could hide behind that dwarf. Let's finish him off, because then at least we won't be taking damage for ending his combat effectiveness career on the battlefield. Second attack, flurry. He has probability control now. 5 with 12 that hits 17. Oh, that actually misses you this time. That's the end of that. Team power over the sands, the strength of ages, the glory of invincibility. Humdie mummy rapstra koga koilanacaris resuscitate. That's not part of the team moniker. Do not correct me! I will not be admonished before the mighty LeGlockin. Let's see. These two. Check the zones. Still everybody in there. He's got those guys. Got Diana, the mummy, and the dwarf. Diana, the mummy, and the dirty Diana. Oh, get that. Get that. All still in there. This is guessing that once again you're below this row. Check this one. Let's check that one also. The replete, thorough, comprehensive search of all the available zones to see there. Are you happy now? Are you happy now? I'm going to check all of these. Let's check all the adjacent squares. As we know, this one made close combat attack, though this one can. If you're in this zone, you're not beyond this, so I don't think you would be here. You might have tried a sidestep. You did not. You're right there. What is our diagonal like? We're the dwarf. And here, and you can see this, the mummy. This one would be blocked by the walls on this part of the perimeter for that square and this part of the perimeter for the quadrilateral geometrical configuration or information used to represent the structure of the translucent Greek fireflake polymer canopy lid container frame. And all the squares that are not further away from these squares and are closer to this edge of the board, or any part of the board that at least is not further away than a blocking terrain and of near the specific parts of the perimeter for the translucent Greek fireflake quadrilateral container frame canopy lid casing container frame. Then the specific quadrilateral geometrical information used to information represented on the Greek. Guess who's about to charge you? A Greek fireflake container. Container. We checked this zone already. All these, we checked this zone, so these squares, this one. Represent blocking terrain and are in the context of parts of the perimeter for the quadrilateral geometrical structure represented. Greek fireflake, translucent Greek fireflake canopy lid container frame. That seems about right. Check what was that? Now that we know where you are, let's see, what can we do? We have mind control. What would we have you do with it? We no longer have that power. We have charge, super strength. There are no objects nearby. Can we go get one and come back? I don't think Wonder Woman will wait that long. Just try to use Blade's Claws with this guy and try to hit this guy. Let's hit. I'm hitting. Ona. Oh, that's the third person. Ona. Or somebody else. Well, you are hitting someone else. You are hitting someone who's not the person you're speaking to necessarily. Or that might depend. I'm going to hit you. I guess it's a BM. Are we talking to Diana or about Diana? We are doing... First, we're going to do Blade's Claws, and we've got probability control. Let's try to got you ever seen Sabiam Tebe or Sabiam Ona? Ko Ona Zolish. Dumps. That's okay. We're going to do Blade's Claws, 9 on your 18. If we hit you, we get Mystics. If you get damage from Mystics, and that kills Mr. Sil McGilly over here, McGilly Lily Hammocuddy. Blade's Claws. We've got, ooh, that's neat. We've got 11. Ooh, 11, yeah. And now we're going to do the Blade's Claws roll. Let's hope we get something. 3. And now you get Impervious. I could prob that. This could prob it. Is that a good idea? Let's save that probability control for the this guy's attack. So we're going to do 3 damage. Some damage. Impervious. Gets it. Oh, do something. You're a mummy. You got 10 attack again. I'm certain if this character's attack falls in attack upon the throughout the values that are the particular distance from the edge of what would, this infers what would be conveyed in the dial window when it is conveyed in the dial window with the parts that are separated from the edges of the dial window as representing as the current click of that character throughout the parts of the disk upon which embedded are by inkjet printer or some sort of this infers contrivance or device or otherwise are conveyed the varying light clatter varieties that describe this character's abilities and combat capacities decrease below 10 for attack particularly. See, first we're going to do an attack with the mummy. That's 5. That hits 15. Not enough. We're probbing it. This is why we need probability control. That's a 6. That's interesting. That seems like it might work. A 9. There you go. 6 is always neat. 9. That hits 19. Now you get your impervious again. Don't be a goddess for once. Yes! A 2. You got 2, so that means you take 1. And mystics. What did that solve? Diana takes 1 damage. The first damage she's taken all day. And you get mystics. This is bollocks. Still have 18 defense. You have 2 clicks of 18 defense on your 8th and on your 6th and 7th click. 7 clicks in, still going. He's less than 100 points. So you both get action tokens. Lost probability control, though. You both have 3 damage. What's going to happen? Flurry, attack 1. Let's start with the guy who's not going to give us collapsidian destruction. That's 5. Not sure because this lost 1 attack, so 5 plus 11, that's 16. He's still 18. Oh dear. That wouldn't actually have hit even if this still had 12 attack. It would need 6 to hit 18, even with 12. And this got 5. Misses that first attack. Let's try again with Flurry. 6. See, oh, that's what this was referring to, needing to hit an 18 with 12 attack, but now this has 11 attack, and now that hits a 17, and this guy still has 18 on his 7th click. Not to say that he's had 18 on all the other clicks that this suspects it might have received from taking smaller amounts of damage, and from which this might suggest would be the result of representing less damage than what he has here with the parts of the numerological symbols and alternating light clatter embedded in the disk that is within the hero clicks dial mechanism, representing the greater damage, closer to destruction, the 7 compared to 1 through 6. Missed that one also, so that's 2 attacks. Let's use the free attack. Use 2 outnumbered tokens to use a free attack on... Which one do I like to end more? The mummy. Let's get rid of that mummy. At least I won't take more damage for that. Oh, that's a 5. Close to 6. Usually successful. 5. That's 9. Hits 9. That means I hit 20 with 11. And that definitely hits your 18. 2 above. Overshoot. You get that for not for this attack, but for the attacks that occur incipient in which, not long from which, and separated from another attack or another opposing character's turn. This free attack that we get, that hits you. No probability control. You do not have invincible. You have no defense powers, in fact, so you take my full 4 damage. Still got 4 damage on the 2nd click. One less attack, though. Probably will end you. Only needed 2 clicks to end you. 17 defense willpower. Never got a chance to use it. Mummy has willpower. This is the moment where you might inform your character, your opponent, that regrettably one of his characters has fallen. Take your hat down, place it near your chest, or somewhere around the metatarsal, that's all that is, clavicle, closer, sternum, there it is. Now it is. The mummy is gone. I'm going to take out his character pig. Your mummy has been defeated. Probably click their own character so they'd be able to determine that. Your mummy is gone. It'd be funny if the black dwarf manages to deal enough damage that even if Diana KOs the dwarf, the collapsidian will just destroy Diana. No one dares. And here, I think all 3 of them are here also. And only 2 in that other zone, in this zone. atrium polycarpy, the altered atrium altar zone. But one of those two is the mummy. Let's get that one out. What is it? Oh, we took that one. Seems like something. And then dwarf. I think we got all of them. There's all three of them in that zone. Money is on there. Nowhere to be found. Check the dwarf zones. Let's just see if you're adjacent to me. Get that done. This one, oh, you are. And the one that decides to check incipient to not long from checking all the rest of the adjacent 8 squares, or 7, except for this one that you're actually in, which this excludes. This checked it, but it found you, which makes the expectations, or rather gratifications, of opening it. As a result, this chooses from which, divergent from which, this chooses to delineate the meaning or the value and satisfaction of opening it. So when you're in that one, this can see this diagonal. Check the loose ones explicably, and all those that are further away from the particular quadrilateral Greek fire. Wait, did this check these though? Oh, it chose not to. I'm just checking the loose ones right now. For inexplicable purposes. Explicable. Inexplicably. Inscrutably. Above the dotted line. But not the dottery line. Da, da, da. There they go. These also. Maybe not this one. This is a zone peg. Blocking terrain. Not further than blocking terrain, or in the position where this would say that are within the range of squares. This suspects that if what is called a straight line were to be drawn between the character and the said square, that it would not be near or within the specific distances of blocking terrain, that this would then check the squares to see particular measure or observe the specific parts of the perimeter of the quadrilateral geometrically structured or geometrical information used to represent the structure of your translucent Greek firefly canopy with container frame casings that would use to determine by deterministic mechanisms, maybe algorithms, not quite algorithms. It could be tacit obscured by psychological nerve clatter algorithms with waterfall. Now we're gonna let's try. We have 2 actions. Let's try. We have 1 action available for this turn. If this doesn't die during Diana's next turn, which it might not, incipient to that, this might be able to attack again. So let's use Blade's Claws. The mummy is gone. We still have this dwarf guy. Let's try and do Blade's Claws. How much is this? 4 and 5. 9. It's a high roll. High roller. What's your defense? Still 18. With 9 attack and 9 roll, you get hits 18. Let's do Blade's Claws. Ooh, be a 5. That's high. It's me high. Let's do that impervious. 2 does not get it. That's 5 damage. You have impervious, and thus you still reduce the damage by 2, and you take 3. Still have sidestep. Lost the charge flurry part of it, and now we have Blade's Claws and support. We could heal some guys if we chose to. Apparently I also went to med school. We take courses. There were lots of classes on the Mascara. We are well versed in the matters of the anatomy and medical techniques of treating injuries for blue-black dwarves over here. And now Mystics. Take Mystics. Well, that was his last click. The Mystics got to him. And the Colobsidian, it says dealt damage from an attack. That was not an attack that Mystics dealt. Thus, that's it. The final countdown. The final countdown. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do.